Okay, so hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of For the Long Haul podcast, which is going to be talking a little bit while Blaine finishes his snack before we begin today's episode that he
I
has no idea about.
I thought we did pre-banter and then did, hey, everybody, welcome back to the For Long Haul.
We actually never talked about how we do it.
Let's talk about that.
Okay, but
I
honestly,
don't forget your thing. I like the unfiltered pre-banter, and then we give them the opportunity, like in the description, skip to 3 minutes and 26 seconds for the start of the episode. Then it hits like a normal episode without the pre. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the For Long Haul podcast. Like that. I like that.
okay, so we'll do that in the next episode. But also, did you know apparently if my glasses are dirty, you can kind of notice it in the video when you watch it?
No, you
No,
look kind of grainy. I don't know if it's right now. Maybe your settings went back down as long as they're. Is it just me or?
Let me double check. Hold on. No, I have it in like the way I always have it. I also do want to switch to my camera. No, but a friend of ours was watching it since he saw that we started doing video, and he messaged me. He said, "Clean your freaking glasses." I was like, "You can tell that we're dirty." But then again, I also do need to get new glasses. So that's the reason we're doing this little banter is because as I was getting my glasses cleaned in between episodes, because sometimes we call multiple at once, you guys, because of our busy schedules. And I remember that, so I thought it'd be funny to mention that.
While I'm eating, I was like, I need a snack.
Yes, I thought it'd be funny to mention that.
That's pretty funny though.
I didn't even realize you could notice it. I'm like, dang.
And they noticed it. You don't have the high quality camera yet.
Yeah. Oh God, what happened?
Your camera was better than mine. What I had on my laptop, but this camera I got here, oh my goodness, it's miles better than the other one I had.
See, but also, I know this camera, the webcam can do. It should be able. I think it should be able to do 1080p, but for some reason, to StreamYard, it's only able to do 720.
And on mine, I think it's the same way. Let me look. Oh, that's virtual background. Advanced. Yeah, it's only. I think because we're not premium on here, maybe it's only 720 max. And if that's the case, it's kind of lame, but that's okay.
Yeah, but also, I got a phone call like maybe an hour before we started recording. So the phone call was I didn't answer because it was a Texas number, but I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
How'd you do that? Is that your camera settings or what?
I just think it looks bad. Do you think it looks bad?
If you want you to be in focus, it looks good, but it looks a little weird.
It looks terrible because around the edges, it doesn't.
Yeah, that too.
Because I don't have a flat background. If I had a flat, even then, it's because the headset, the gaps and stuff. If it had earbuds, yours would work really good. Sorry to distract you there.
No, you get it. So I got a call. I didn't know who it was. I didn't answer. I was almost did answer because I was like, what if this is me hearing back from a job? It wasn't. I was like, what, if it's a job, they'll leave an email. I don't know with this number.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like answering it right now. I feel a little tired for some reason. Then again, I couldn't sleep last night. I woke up like 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't because of my leg this time. It was just because not exactly nightmares, but nightmares.
Say what? You got nightmares? I don't have nightmares.
I don't know. It wasn't exactly like nightmares, but it was kind of like, something shocking or like so confusing in the dream that woke me up.
Interesting part is I used to dream a decent amount, but it also was because, I'd wake up and I go about to sleep for an hour a lot.
Yeah.
I don't dream at all.
But
I mean, I know you got the science people out there, and I'm a science person too, that talks about how, but you always dream, you just don't remember the dream. Well, I don't remember the dreams, okay? I
think majority of people tend to forget them within the first 30 seconds to a minute of being consciously awake.
Yeah, if you want to remember your dreams, as soon as you wake up, recite them to yourself, whatever, write them down. If something was really interesting, as soon as I wake up, I'm like, wow, that was crazy. And I'll go through like in my head, like what happened. But I haven't had one thing I have not had, even when I have dreams and remember dreams, nightmares. I don't ever have nightmares. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I'm sure it says something somewhere in the science of dreaming, but I do not have nightmares. And I don't know why, but I think it's just something to do with my mental energy. It's got to be.
But anyway, so thankfully I didn't answer this phone call, which is like telemarketer and all that. It was like one of the hey cost extended warranty BS stuff.
Yep. Yep. I get those. I don't
So
ever.
like I was reading the transcript and I thought it was funny and I actually listened to it. They actually did say this. I I've been today and they must be extended before your automobile reaches a certain mileage. Don't make the coffee mistake and drive automobile without it. Press 2 now.
But did you listen to the actual audio?
Yeah, it didn't say coffee.
Yeah, I know the transcription will mess it up, like the common mistake or
No.
something.
Yeah. Like I was thinking that too. So I was like, let me listen to this. It didn't sound like they said coffee. It was like weird.
It's not perfect. We know that.
Yeah. I think
All
I
right.
didn't answer because I hate answering those. But anyway, you guys. So
Hey,
again,
everybody. Welcome back to the For Long Old podcast. It's just been hijacked by Blaine sitting alongside.
hey, you guys, it's Brandon.
And
Uh,
today we're going to talk about give it back to Brandon because I don't know.
All right, so a little background before I actually give this. Uh, okay, so hold on, I'm trying to rephrase that. Okay, should we get rid of the stigma that it's bad to live with your parents after you graduate high school? Now, the reason I thought of this is because of two reasons. A, I saw a video that was like, "Hey, relatives of blah blah, uh, what's something? I can't remember what it was, but they talked about like how somebody is like, it's not bad if you live with your parents' house, if you live with your parents' house, if like after you graduate and all that, if you like, help out with the house and do something. But now, if your parents do everything for you and you still live out to them with a certain point, that does make you, in their opinion, a loser and all that. I can't remember what exactly the video was. I just remember that one part, and then I remember a couple of days later, I was watching the YouTube or give a house stone news like, hey, you guys, thanks to you guys, you support and all that. You guys watching the video, subscribing and all that. My friend, and my girlfriend, we were able to get our own place. I moved out of my folks' house and all that, blah, blah, blah. I'm grateful for my family and all that, blah, blah, blah. And he was answering questions, talking about stuff like that. And it got the idea into me because I also started thinking about how in America versus how, like in a lot of places, in America, it's kind of like seen as bad if you live with your parents after high school. But like in other parts of the world, it's perfectly normal for you to live with your parents past the age of 18.
Yeah, it's here. It's just like, yeah, if you're doing that, then, you're, you know, not good at, I'm not putting my words together. You're, deadbeat. You're with your parents. You're not doing anything with your life. And, it's a shame that it's that way. But when it comes down to it, a lot of people are still living with their parents. I mean, after 18, you're still kind of on the edge. I think where like in general, it's fine.
Yeah, but like
But
whenever you like at least from the way I've seen, like after you leave high school and all that, it's kind of like seem like really bad and all that.
that's how it's viewed. Absolutely. So I'd like you to give your. I mean, I don't know if you've really given your opinion yet. I don't think so. But
No,
give your opinion on this whole thing, or if you want to hear you want to hear mine first. I know you wanted to get a raw opinion from me.
yeah, go for it. Why not? Before you
You're
lose the chance, though.
lagging super hard. I don't know if that's me, but we're just gonna have to keep going. But
All right, yeah,
yeah,
go for it, Blaine. Give your opinion.
all right, man. And so this is good. I like this. And so in terms of living with your parents after you graduate, we're saying high school here. It depends on the situation you're in, but this is my raw opinion here. There's no padding, there's no fluffing. Um, and so living with your parents, I lived with my parents until I graduated from college. And even then, I was with my parents for another until I was 24, almost 25 when I moved out.
Yeah,
I planned on moving out as early as possible, obviously, because a lot of people are on the same wavelength when they're young. But I moved out 24 and 24 and 3/4 of to 25. And so I was almost 25 before I moved out. And I almost moved out when I was 23. Something happened, didn't work out. The Runny Rona, I think, somewhere lines up with me being 23. But so my raw opinion on it is that based on your situation, sometimes you got to be there. Now, a lot of people bash those people for still living with their parents. There's two people living with their parents, in my opinion, to be short and sweet with it. There is someone who is living with their parents to be an entirely like deadbeat person who doesn't want to do anything, doesn't intend on doing anything, and is just someone who mooches off of people entirely, and then there is someone who is living with their parents because they have to like survive, but they are someone who's really trying hard to get up and get going, and they don't let their parents be that person who pays for everything for them. And so if you're the person, let's say you're now 24, but you're living at home to get your stuff straight, you're saving money, you work your job, all that stuff, or you're chasing your dream, but it's not financed by your parents, that's good. Like, because you're still trying, you're doing your own thing, but you're not relying on your parents to take care of you versus you living at home like I'm chasing my dream and you're letting your parents pay for everything. You're letting your parents pay when you go out to Chili's with all your friends and mess around and not chase your dream and all this other crap you don't need. That's different. You're just not doing it. You're postponing it. Your parents are making you soft, and that's a different thing. I lived at home with my parents for a long time, and I saved up a lot of money. I didn't have any allowance or anything like that. At one point, I did chores and got paid to do it when I was a lot younger in high school, but then I had my job and that stopped happening because I didn't want to do the chores anyways. And it was the wage per hour was kind of low. But me just being stubborn, I was like, I make my money. She's like, we don't have to do them. I'm like, cool. And I quit doing them. And she quit giving me like $20 a week. And but the time to money there was this 20 minutes of chores a night for $20 a week. But that's my raw opinion there. There's such a bad stigma around doing it. Do what you need to do. Take care of yourself. And this is my one thing that I'll say, that what I believe for people who are like, oh, but I live with my parents, but it's to, just chase my dream or take care of myself. And you're actually trying to do it and you're saving money to prepare yourself for something long-term. Those are humble people. Those kind of people that you're doing that or you're about to do that or you're going to have to do that. Who the fuck cares what anyone has to say about you? Do for you. Don't do for anybody else but yourself. And that's the mindset. Like, I still live with my parents, and I'm like, I don't care. I want to move out, but I don't freaking care. I don't care what anybody else has to say. Do it for yourself. Do what you got to do. Take care of yourself. I kind of added a little bit more on there, kind of stub your toe a little bit, but do what you got to do. Take care of yourself. If you're in something, like literally, if my life where I'm at right now fell apart, I've already thought about this before. I don't like to plant bad seeds, but I don't think it is. Just, envisioning something happening. And then
You need to kind of like you have a little bit of a plan in case stuff goes south.
Yeah, I mean, not a full set plan, just a mindset.
Yeah.
Like if everything fell apart here and, didn't have the money I need to live where I'm at and, everything fell apart here. Maybe I lost my relationship, that kind of stuff. I'd move back in with my parents as long as they'd have me. My mama said you can always come home if anything ever happens you need to, and that's what I think typically a good mother would say because they always want to take care of the child. But if I ever had anything happen, and I would move back into my parents in a heartbeat, and then I would, obviously get a job and stuff. I would not let them take care of me. I'd let them put me in a shelter because that's very expensive living, but I would not let them finance my entire lifestyle. I would still work, still take care of myself, still be proud of myself. And I'd live with them, and I wouldn't give a shit what anybody else has to say about it.
Okay, I think we're kind of on the same basically wavelength. Like, because I'm like, I think we should get rid of the stigma. It's like, it's bad to live with your parents after you graduate high school, after you turn 19 and all that. Because, like, honestly, maybe this is just me. Maybe me being first generation American. I don't know. Or maybe it's just me being the way I am. I don't see a bad why it's so bad. Like, it's like, hey, like, now if you have a bad family life at home, maybe yeah, but like, if you're working or if you're going to school or if you're helping out in the house and all that and trying to save money, then I don't see the problem with it. Like, like maybe say you don't have a job but you're going to school. I think that's a perfectly good reason why you should stay home. Maybe like, maybe you're in between jobs right now and you're just helping on the house, like, maintenance, like, doing chores and all that, just helping on the house while you're getting on your feet. I think that's a good reason. Like, if you're working and, and if you're working a job but still live at your house, if you're helping on the house and, working, I think that's still a good reason why you should live at home. Like,
Yeah.
especially because, like, you don't realize, I think especially because people don't realize how expensive it is to live on your own, that sometimes they get screwed over automatically, and then they have to move back in again, then they'll then they're mad about it. I'm
Yeah.
like, why? I don't understand. Like, you know,
hmm Well, that's the problem. The reason why people want to move out is because they have been sold this idea that if you don't go do that, you're not cool. You're not living to be the best person that you could be at that exact moment. And all it is about showing a lifestyle that, oh, I have this lifestyle. I have the newest phone. I've got the newest car. I live in a brand new apartment that's really nice. That's all that is. And opinions of other people. And that's why these people move out as soon as they can. Yeah, it looks good when other people see you. And but you're paying for a life that's your means of living. If you can't afford it, you're putting yourself in a hole. Versus if you need to stay at home and keep saving money, I saved tons of money. I went to college. I didn't live on campus in college. Uh, my parents helped me pay for school. I say help me pay for school. My parents paid for my school, but I worked full time the whole time I was there. And then the last year, senior year, I left. I'm sorry, I got a text distracted me. Shouldn't have my phone face up. Senior year, I left my full time job and I was practicing real estate, and that wasn't always a full time thing because it was flexible, and so there was times where I didn't do it as much. But even then, while I was there, pretty much my entire duration of college, I worked like I had to pay for it, and I saved money accordingly.
like, and also like, think about this. Like, especially because like this is, I think, the mindset really in America a lot, but like in other countries, it's not seen as taboo and all that to live with your family after you turn 18, turn 19, and all that. And like, so I did some research about this beforehand. Like,
hmm
and like apparently, in like in some countries, like I think one of the countries they listed was Italy. Let me see if I can pull that up real fast on my
Okay,
end.
yeah, you look for that and find that. Yeah, I honestly like whenever I went to college, I wanted to live on campus just to experience that. And I'm past that now, so I still think I missed maybe a little bit there. I would have liked that. But at the same time, it would have doubled the cost of college, and I didn't want my parents to spend twice as much on it, anyways. And I worked 30 minutes where I worked where I lived, and I went to college, 35 minutes away. And so I was like, but if I live there, I have to drive back here, or I have to leave and get a different job. But the job I got going on now is good, flexible, and so it didn't make sense. So for me, I was like, I'm gonna keep working. I can't not work while I'm going to college, make my parents pay for everything, and so I kept working and went to college. But when I think about it, though, if I were to be able to go back, at least it would have been nice for like at least a year to have the pure and a dorm pure college experience. But I would have just messed around anyhow. But still, you got to live, you got to enjoy the life that you have and try things.
Okay, so this is from 2006, from where I'm getting this information from. But apparently, in some countries like Italy, it wasn't uncommon to be living with your family at the age of 30 until like around the age of 30 and all that.
Yeah.
And some of the reasons some of these countries have like that high of a number is because you don't typically leave your house until you get married and all that, because they're really family centric culture. And I was also reading apparently it's not uncommon for you to go to university later on in life in apparently Italy, and
Hmm.
you don't graduate on until later on in life
Wow, that's
over
cool.
there. And and then there's some other countries like you don't again, this is also depends on where you're at, like
Yeah.
like apparently Poland and all that, the average age is between 28 to 29 when you leave your family's house and all that. And some other countries have it young as like 22 and all that, or 20, but a lot of them they have mid to late 20s and all that. And some of that's because some of those cultures they're really family centric and all that.
hmm
And the other ones like maybe you just start university or you end university late. And why are you saying university instead of college, Brandon? There's like apparently I think they tend to call it a university over there more than college. So I'm just saying university.
Yeah, I think they do because that's what that our guest was just saying. I don't
Yeah,
remember his name, but what was I about to say? Oh, wait a minute, I had it.
it was university. Our guest, he kept on saying university
Nah, it
probably.
was kind of before that. I don't remember now. I lost it.
Okay.
That's okay. Yeah. I can't remember.
And plus, I honestly think there's some maybe special circumstances that makes you still want to, still want to, or makes you still live at home? Like, what if your family, one of family members, like, Angel, what if they have trouble or something?
Yeah.
Or what
Oh,
if
and
you,
I remember now. And it was just mine was essentially that I stayed home at homes till I was 25. I'm very grateful for doing that though. I got to spend so much time, versus leaving at 18 with my parents and with my grandparents that lived next door. I got to spend it was great just because now I moved out, I don't get to hardly see them anymore because I live 2.5 hours away. And even then, that's not that far of a distance. But when you don't have 2 days off in a row, it is very difficult to go see someone in a reasonable manner. And so I don't see him a whole lot. It's I was really grateful for all the time I spent. I'll never regret that.
yeah, so, yeah, like, see, another thing, you gotta spend more time with your family, as long as your family isn't, like, toxic one, that's perfectly a good reason.
Hmm.
Like, so I think we're both kind of on the same boat. Like, unless you're not doing anything to help out around the house or your family,
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing to live past 18, 19, 20 with your family.
Yeah, don't move out because of pride, because other people are going to look at you for not doing it. You can put yourself so much farther ahead in life because you stayed home. Because if you stay home, the expense of moving out to live in an apartment and live by yourself is so drastic. Imagine taking about 40% of the money that you're going to make just to pay for that, and so you can save. Now imagine saving 40% of your income just by living at home, saving that money up, and then when you move out, you might be able to buy a house right off the bat, or just have all this money saved. Like you can be investing in yourself. You're gonna be investing, like IRA stuff like that. That's just well, not get into that at all, but just having this money saved to take care of yourself long term versus blowing it just because I needed a new car and to move out, so everyone else thinks I'm cool, and I got it together. Nobody's got it together. Nobody has it figured out. Even the people with all this money and the drive a Ferrari, you think they got it together. You don't know what they're doing, crying by themselves in that Ferrari, and
Wait,
so
did you say crying by themselves in that Ferrari?
yeah,
Okay, I want to make sure I hold you, right? Just that's why I was
we
asking.
perceive these people as having it all figured out. Nobody has it figured out. Nobody. People who are, um, you know, I don't want to use specific people, but people are, like your parents, for example. You think they have it figured out? They don't. My parents, think they have it figured out? They don't. Not to say that they don't have things going well for themselves, but just having it figured out means you know where you're at, you know exactly where you're going, you know how things are going to be. It's not like that. It's never going to be like that. And so just don't look at these people and just assume because you only see this nice, shiny bit of positive that they have this all figured out. It's all the grand and everything like that. Yeah.
All right, so one more thing. Oh God, what was it? I've had this in my head the entire time. Now I can't remember it. Okay, so what do you think about this? What do you think of, like, once you turn a certain age, your parents, like, maybe charge you a little bit for rent? Do you think that's okay?
Well, I mean, I think it comes down to depending on what's going on. I mean, if you have absolutely zero chore responsibility, I mean, no matter what, I feel like it's still reasonable unless they want to charge you the same amount to literally go rent
Be on
another
your own.
place, then that's kind of crazy. But if it's something small, here's one thing that I saw, and this is what I liked about this one parent's idea. They charged them rent. Now it wasn't the same price as moving out, but they charged them a rent number, and that number was for them to pay rent, get used to paying rent, and when they moved out, they got the money. And so they got them used to paying rent and having to set money aside to pay that every month on time. And when they moved out, they gave them the money.
And see,
So
now,
for savings and preparing them for what it's like to have rent and a large expense every month.
see, if like, if your parents or whatever charge you rent, and it's to, like, just like for them to use to help pay the bills and all that, or to just to teach you and get you in the habit of giving, of, like, spending X amount, even though it's probably going to be little every every month to like kind of get you prepared to like paying bills and all that. I say that's perfectly reasonable and all that. And
I
you
say it's
can,
reasonable. Yeah, I mean, in some families, they may be charging you rent. Like, this is ridiculous. Well, have you considered the fact that maybe your family or your parents or guardian, whatever, doesn't make enough money to support you, barely has made it this long, and then now they were, I guess, expecting you to move out, and you're still there, and they're barely scraping along. Maybe something happened. And they're like, "Hey, I need you to start paying rent." And have you considered the fact that they can't even barely afford where they're at now? Because you are an expense living at home. They will feed you to some extent. They will share their stuff with you. You do add more water and electricity usage to the bill. You're not free. There's no free lunches, and so if they do charge you some rent, that's perfectly reasonable, even if you're not going to get that money back, because you are living for free off of them, and you're charging them money by being there. You don't, unless you really think about it, like the things I said, you don't notice that.
yeah. So yeah, exactly.
And
So
so
so what did
it's
you think of?
reasonable.
So what did you think of the surprise thing I didn't tell you about and all that?
No, it's real good. I like it. This is something that Gary Vaynerchuk talks about. That I like him a lot. Gary V, and he mentions that a lot. Like, oh, but what if I moved out to California and then I bought a new BMW and I have an apartment, but it's like I had no money to do anything, and honestly, I hate what I'm doing. And he's like, quit your job, sell your car, get out of the apartment, go home, live with your parents. And they're like, but I don't want to. And he's like, why do you not want to do that? You hate what you do. You can't afford to do anything because you've put your standard of living too high. Get out of it. And they're like, oh, but this. And it's like, why won't you do it? They're like, oh, but I've got this nice place and stuff. It's like, so you won't do it because you have these flashy things and you want people to see it. And they're like, yeah. And then it's just like, well, you have to get rid of that. You have to let that go. And so, well, then keep suffering then if that's what you want. And it's like, well, I don't want to, because what am I suffering for? Other people's opinions? And yeah, and that's what you're suffering for. That's not worth it. What do people care? They see it like, oh, it looks nice, and they go live their life. And so that's something he mentions. He's like, leave, go back, live with your parents. Then now you can chase your dream, and now you can work a part-time job, so you can have more time to chase your dream and still make enough money to live. And then like that, like that's an example.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I agree with that 100%. Like, so we're getting up to about 30 minutes. So I feel like the consensus of this is like we both agree. It's like at least because like I don't know how it is over in other parts of the world. I don't think it's really that much of a stigma, but over here in the states, it's a big stigma that I think we honestly need to get rid of.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're working or going to college or helping around the house and all that all the time, especially get rid of it for them. Like if you're
Mm-hmm.
just doing nothing and if you're doing nothing, not helping around the house at all, not working, not going to school, then yeah, that stigma is kind of deserved on them. But honestly, we really should get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's not good. It's just really just a negative energy more than anything else.
Yeah,
You should just make your decision based on what you think you should do, not from the outside forces. And then the outside forces this opinion that you should be moved out. Oh, you're
yeah,
19. You still live at your parents' house. Oh, if a girl thinks that of you or a guy thinks that of you, and you're whatever gender, they're no good.
I was gonna do.
Screw them.
Think
Yeah, there you go. Get rid of them. Flick. And go find yourself somebody else who isn't living in that gotta have flash life, because that person is always going to be like that because it's in their brain. They're set that way.
yeah.
And so yeah.
Well, you got anything else to say, Blaine, or anything?
Nah, man, that's it.
Alrighty, guys, that's it for today's episode. If you guys want to follow us on Instagram, you guys can do that at.
For the long haul podcast, give us a like, give us a comment, something you want us to talk about, all that good stuff.
And if you guys
Or
want, and if you guys want to do a collab, just email us. Maybe do a sponsorship, anything like that. You guys can do that at.
ftlhpodcast@gmail.com.
Alrighty, guys. Until then, you guys have a good one, and at least if you're in Texas, at least try to stay warm. Although this is gonna come out in 2 weeks, so who knows if that's even gonna be valid.
Yeah,
Maybe we want
that's
to be
warm.
cold in two
I
weeks.
I didn't even say it last time because I thought someone else would be warm, somewhere else in the world. And then you do a 2 week commitment to being cold. All right, man. Y'all just stay safe out there. How about that?
Yeah. All right. Bye.